Well, I'm going to go ahead and open the agenda. We'll go ahead and do roll call. Go back here, and I do see that I made a mistake. Thank you for saying that. Anna, are you on the call?
Yes.
Well, that was so loud. Come on, bring it, Hannah.
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Matt, you're here. Carla is absent. Jennifer? And Carol? No, it's not a key. I haven't heard from her in a while. So we are recording. If anyone has any issues with recording, please, let me know now, or we'll go on with it, okay? We'll continue with the meeting. What, girl? I'll take you out after this. Y'all hear that?
Yes.
Yeah, y'all can hear her whining. She's a big old baby. Does anyone have any adjustments to the agenda?
I would say just mention about the website changeover happening at the end of this week.
Okay, well then we'll include that under public awareness activities, okay?
Yes, sir.
Anyone else? Moving along, since we technically don't have a quorum, does anyone have any issues with the agenda presented as is? No. So we'll move along. And Jennifer, do you have a conflict of interest?
No.
All right. So the previous minutes was from an August meeting, and I actually Matt did send those to me, and I will actually post those to where we can get them. Okay, you have already. So I'll go ahead and do a poll to where we can send those out. Well, I'm just all over the place, and to where we can do this. I mean, to where you guys can vote on it, and where all the other members can vote on it as well. Staff liaison report. That's just going to be a standing item. And so, Matt, was there any from the last meeting? Was there any action items?
No, we have not had any action items for the previous two meetings.
All right, awesome. So, moving along, and I know this is for the recording more than anything. What I did with the agenda here is, basically took it from the statute. And so public awareness activities, this committee here is to coordinate and oversee our public awareness activities. And so I know we've gone over these a lot in meetings, Jennifer, and everyone else on the call. And so Hannah is the person that is in charge of our public awareness activities. And so Hannah, would you mind just going down and listing the public awareness activities that we do to where we can include these in the minutes?
Of course. So we do weekly access newsletters just to kind of inform the public about what we are working on or any news in the disability community. We also do semi-weekly legislative updates, also through emails to get the public aware of what legislative updates are going on, anything in that could affect them government-wise. We also do exhibits, so we're like tabling at conferences, or we do magazines that like encompass a certain topic that kind of cover everything that we do. And we also do mass media. So we post on social media and YouTube, like Facebook, all that. And we also post on our website for information that way. Am I
And
missing
Matt?
any?
Oh, I believe you got everything there. I was trying to go down the deliverables, and I think you got everything. Matt, you have something to add about the website?
Due to issues with our current website, we have moved the timeline to launch the new website. The new website will be launched by close of business on Friday. Be ready to go. Just encourage everyone to check it out, look at it, write some notes, things you like, dislike about it, things you would like to see differently. Definitely send them to me. I cannot entertain every idea, but we'll definitely look at it and see if it's going to be possible.
And Matt, I am so glad you said that. And Jennifer, you're one of the most guilty board members we have of telling us what to do. I'm kidding, Jennifer. All right. And so, since this is on the recording, I would like to, just to make a note of this, that one of the reasons why our website is so fragmented, and Jan, since you're the public, you can pop in at this. Since you two have a little bit more history than the team members on the call. Oh, Megan, I am so sorry. Speaking of that, Megan, you're on the call, aren't you? You'll see what happens. Megan, I believe she was on the call, but is she still on there?
I believe her phone's ringing.
Okay, no worries. So, one of the things why our website right now is so fragmented is that it seemed like every time a thought came in the head of of the board concerning our website, they would want us to add something to it, and so that's why it has been so fragmented. And that there's just so much information it put on the website, and it's layered in a way that is not very conducive. One of the things that I will say is I think the new format of the website, it meets the 508 compliant, in which it's a logical order. And it's kind of hard to believe that is one of the new 508 in the refresher, and so I am glad of that. And so, Matt, our new website's going to be really, really focused, isn't it?
Yes, it's going to be easier to navigate just because we're going to have just a few set topics, namely, our services, the RDC's locations, things like that. And it's going to branch out from there into a logical order, easy to disseminate, not so much as all this extra information. And with that, becoming the ADA compliant on the website is definitely going to be a lot easier. With that, having the more consolidated information, it's going to be easier to control that information and make sure it's all up to compliance.
Yeah, I know.
Scratch has really helped out with that too.
What now? I'm sorry, I interrupted you, Matt.
I was saying, and starting with the new website from scratch, with a clean slate, essentially, is helping that tremendously.
One of the things, and Jennifer and Jan, I don't know if you've heard us talk. I think we mentioned this at the last meeting. We actually went back and looked for almost 2 or 3 years of why people came to the website. And the biggest reasons were, the 4 biggest reasons were, Matt said, the RDCs, statewide device loan, the New Horizon Loan Program, and then there was a 4th topic, and that one really varied from month to month. And so that's where, in terms of the focus that Matt was saying, is that's where we definitely want to highlight at least those 3 areas, and by doing that, we will also be highlighting our core services.
Yeah, so by being able to highlight those individual areas better, it opens us it opens up room for us to put other things in there, like stories and donation drives and things like that. As far as the fundraising, allows us to really focus on that stuff where it doesn't get lost in all the extra that's on there.
And the other, and basically, I'm sorry?
I said it sounds really good.
Yeah, and the other thing that will be on there, well, that won't be on there, I will say, is that in terms of, things about the board, we're probably going to leave a lot of that stuff. We are going to leave a lot of that stuff off, and basically, provide the bare minimum. Wait a minute, sissy. And then, but the biggest thing is providing like the public, the public notices, because that is, the things that we have to do along with like posting the 990 and the audit. But again, we want the service to really, we want the services to be featured. And so that is it. Hey guys, can I take her out real fast because she's going to keep on barking. I think she needs to go to the bathroom.
All right.
Yep, I'm sorry about that. I'll be back in less than 5 minutes. It's come, Addison.
It's okay.
Yeah, I just get here and so. Come on, girl.
Okay, we're all pet owners. We understand.
YouTube is great for people that are.
Do we need more time?
We're here. We're just listening.
Did you know Jeopardy is on Netflix now?
There's a bit of interference in the system.
All right. Okay, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
Yeah, well, she didn't do anything. So, the other thing I wanted to briefly talk about, and I'm sorry, when I get back. I just want to click everything. Is there, these right here are the public awareness activities that we are contractually, that we have to do. And so again, this right here is mainly for the recording, is that anything that the committee would like to recommend us to do, we would need to ensure that it would fall within one of these 6 areas. And so, and I was thinking of an example, could be, if there's a recommendation from the committee that, well, I think we need to do a newsletter on communication devices. Well, you see in there that, we really don't have quote unquote a newsletter. However, one of the things that we could do with that request is maybe do a series of those weekly newsletters that would focus on different communication devices, trends and assessments, funding issues. And so, again, I'm sorry?
You said that would be really nice, because that would definitely inform the public. Communication devices, as you know, and at least I know, it's very difficult when you're coming and seeking and searching. There's a lot to understand, and when you're informed better, even by newsletters, it helps a lot.
Yeah, and I just threw that out there as an example, but I'm glad that you went on with that. You guys went with that. And again, you see, Jan and Jennifer, and also anybody that goes back and listens to this, is that any ideas that we come up with, we need to see if it can fit in one of these 6 areas. Now, the one thing, again, I'm saying this, and I am going to poo-poo this if you come back and say, well, I think we need to have a page on our website devoted to accessible bicycles. Well, no, we're not going to do just that. However, again, maybe one of our postings in the news section could be on that. And the other thing, Matt, that you did mention, which I love, is that we can have guest bloggers now on the website.
Yes.
And so maybe that's something there where, if somebody requested, made that request just then, like I did, maybe that's something that we could go out, hush, and recruit somebody. Maybe we could go out and recruit somebody that actually, does have an adaptive bike, and that is a cyclist. And so again, we're not adding a page to the website, but we're utilizing the structure of the website to meet a need. And so again, we're not going to poo-poo the ideas of the committee and of the members of the advisory council, but we definitely want we want to be able to fit your ideas in one of those 6 buckets. Does that make sense to everybody?
Clear?
Yes.
All right, thank you. And if it doesn't, thank you for your lies. Next thing I want to talk about, and Hannah, Matt, and Megan, are you back? Earth to Megan. Come in, Megan.
I'm here. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries at all. I just want to make sure everybody has a chance for input on this. The other thing I think that we need to do a better job in documenting is our coordination and collaboration activities. I don't mean to brag, but I'm going to brag here a little bit, is that, we do get a lot of compliments that, our organization is very collaborative. And you can see by, our relationship with Cafe and having the AT Pavilion. Last week we actually had a lunch with all of the leaders of, well, not all, but some of the leaders of other statewide disability organizations. And everybody seems so appreciative of that. You see that, with Live a Day is a perfect example of our collaborating with another nonprofit on a grant. And so another collaboration we have, and Jennifer, you was on one of those calls, is when we did, the webinar series that we're doing with Florida Sand. And so I wanted to, just to talk about these, where we can actually, start listing some of these the coordinate, well, those are collaborative, but also how we coordinate activities. And so I was just wanting to, bring this up here. I know this is the first time, talking like this, but do you guys have any ideas of organizations or any issues that we can help coordinate, again, that would go with the services that we provide, because, coordination we could put under technical assistance, but it needs to have some sort of assistive technology aspect to it. And then the collaboration activities are the ones that I just briefly spoke about. So I'm opening the floor up to discussion. Not everybody at one time. Anybody?
Nothing I can think of.
I'm going to throw two out there, and I want to see what you guys think. And this right here actually came up from that leaders meeting. One of the things, and I know everybody in the office knows this. Jennifer, I know you know that we do this, is that we have taken a very active role, especially the last 2 years, with disaster relief. And so I know Matt and Hannah and Megan can tell you right now that the office is a little bit of an obstacle course, isn't it?
Yes.
Because we got, Tim, we actually, we have a list of people and their needs from FEMA. And so we went and pulled everything that we could. And so when this was mentioned during that meeting, it seemed like there was a lot of different ideas in terms of disaster preparedness and people with disabilities. And so I think that's one of the things that, again, we probably don't have our part in this would be, securing devices that we can recycle that will be available for when a person, for after a storm. And so that's our little niche in this. And so, but I think that we could help coordinate these activities or these issues. And so what do you guys think about, that little, thing? And then I'm going to call around. Megan, what do you think about that?
I'm here. I think it is a good idea to try to make it a little less havoc when the hurricane is at its worst. Maybe to collaborate with hospitals, maybe to see what if they can provide any equipment or know anyone who can provide equipment. I know that we've searched for like local RDCs and things, but if we don't carry it, where would the next best place be? And I think that would be hospitals. Maybe we could possibly partner with a hospital to see if we can come up with at least an action plan that is maybe nurse or for people that are on like ventilators or other healthcare needs.
Okay, and that's one of the things that, I can tell you that we did have, those lists that Tim has do have a bunch of items on there that, we really, it's out of our lane, but Tim is helping. Like, there's a person that needs colostomy bags. There's a person that, needs glasses. There's a person on that list that Tim has that needs help clearing off some trees that are still overhanging his house. Now, that's outside of our lane in terms of the direct services that we provide. And so, but we still are, helping, try to coordinate those activities. And that's something that, there's no coordination between disability organizations. There seems to be with this storm here, there's just no coordination between federal, state, local, and in this nonprofit world that we exist in. And so that's something that, again, I hear you. And also about the hospitals, letting people know what's available, because, that is an ongoing issue with, again, that's some coordination is, we've actually
I thought it is like, we can't provide colostomy bags. Maybe like a hospital, if we partner with a hospital, hey, do you have like this, and this? Can we figure out a way to make it work?
Yeah. And so I'm going to say with that is like, developing a network of, of boards that have resources. Okay, Hannah, I know that you're new. What do you think about that?
About the disaster relief in particular?
FAAST taking the lead in helping coordinate some sort of disaster preparedness, disaster response, because right now, it's definitely a need, and that's something that, I think that we have, we definitely have the capability of doing, but in terms of coordinating it, again, we have such a small niche in it where, we're going to have to coordinate and let other people carry a lot of water.
Yeah, I think maybe we've heard of so many stories of people going to their insurance first and getting denied. Maybe we could coordinate with them that we would be that next step of contact, like, no, we, the insurance, can't cover it, but we know a resource that has those connections. Just because so many people are going their insurance to get it covered, and a lot of the time insurance doesn't do that.
And then is this other things or just disaster preparedness?
This was just for disaster preparedness, or even just medical insurance. They want to get certain things covered. Fundings aren't available, like that one lady. So, like, I feel like insurance is some people's only idea when it comes to funding, Oh,
absolutely. And then at this time, and then during those times, insurance is over capacity because, some people might still be having to stay in a hospital. Some people might be injured. And when it comes to, providing a repair or a new device, you probably have more people that are injured and that's suffering from other things than a person that needs a new power chair because their power chair was destroyed. And
so they take priority.
I definitely see that because, and again, I know with Irma, there was a lot of issues healthcare-wise with PTSD, especially down in, South Florida. And so that, and again, if you have 100,000 people that have mental health issues and 3 people that need power chairs because their houses were flooded, who's going to get noticed first? The 100,000 people or those 3 people? I think it's the 100,000 people. So
yeah.
Matt, your ideas on this?
I think everything that's been said is a pretty good idea. I mean, I really like the idea of us, helping out a lot with this disaster preparedness and really being a point of contact for other agencies around Florida, FEMA, local disaster preparedness, like county emergency management services and things like that, really having our information to be able to pass it out to people, because people are going to emergency management, with issues, and emergency management, people say, hey, wife's on a ventilator, we need power. Like, hey, well, here's the organization that can help out. And I think the local emergency management people would really be a good contact, good collaboration for us. Not so much like these federal agencies that, it'd be a great idea, but I think that'd be something like, was it ATAC? Something the federal level could, touch into, like the FEMA, and redirect to the local state ET program. But I think, for us, I think talking with local emergency management would be a really, really getting to that local emergency management would really be a strong point for us.
Yeah, and I know that every county has a local EEOC person that deals with disability. And so that was something that I know I mentioned when I was in DC. And so in talking about this, I never thought about it, but that's an excellent suggestion. Jan and Jen, I wanted to say the best for last year.
What did you say, Michael?
I wanted to save the best for last. So in your experience, say like, Hurricane Ivan came through and was very devastating for Pensacola. What was your all's needs, and what needs that you all had that went unmet that would have been helpful for you, for those, for an organization to help you meet those needs?
When Ivan came through here, our main situation would have been, to be honest with you, we weren't hit so bad. In different areas were hit bad. It would have been food, of course, as well. We would have needed electricity. Other than that, I think we were pretty good. Insurance, of course, that's one of those things. That's the hardest thing, is insurance companies knowing what to do. But that was what our problems were on our end.
Because, people with disabilities are just like everybody else. And so when a storm comes through, you have those primary needs. And so, and I can tell you here in Florida, the most basic needs is to have food and electricity. And so, and I can tell you, that's one of the things that we talked about at the advisory council meeting, is that, assistive technology or durable medical equipment, doesn't seem to be one of the most immediate needs that come out. And that, we've noticed that it's about 7 to 10 days after is when, those need, we start noticing an increase in those needs. Because people might still be in shelters, they may not still have electricity. And so that is one of the things that, even though people with disabilities, they do have unique needs, but, they still have those basic needs, and, there are stages in a disaster, and that's right up there is food, shelter, electricity. So that's an excellent point.
What would be ideal as far as the hurricanes and disasters and stuff like that, if the state of Florida either had a pamphlet or something with certain areas that you can call if you are disabled. Because if you think about it, when an emergency is happening, you do not know the numbers. But if you had phone numbers that you could call on, that people could get hold of, even if it's a pamphlet for everybody's area, that would be ideal.
I actually just now brought up on the website here, I believe that Florida would consider that pamphlet this Get a Plan program that they have. And so I know that there's like a book on it. And so, however, just going in here and looking really fast, did you guys see what you have to do? So you have to, special needs plan, and then you have to start like registering for this. I mean, and so that's something that, again, I know with me, in doing this, I just want to see where it's going to take you. I know with me, and searching on the internet, I know that, I would just want to go and find something. Actually, I thought I put in our new address. Sorry about that, guys. I know I would just want to go and, like you said, find something that is very specific for, my little world. I'm just going to leave that blank. Let's see where we go here. Now, you see, I don't think this right here is very user-friendly at all. What do you guys think? I mean, well, let me go through this. Let's see if we ever get to a point to where we can get some information, See,
the other thing is with the Get a Plan, FloridaDisaster.org, as long as I've lived here in Florida, honestly, I'm ignorant. I never knew that was there. And of course, before a hurricane comes, most people don't have time to search. As I was saying again, it's a shame there can't be pamphlets out somehow where there's a basic place where people know they can go for information,
Well, I'm going to tell you something, and that you might, be shocked, but at Family Cafe, they have a big old display of Get a Plan, and then you can go there and talk to people that will help you get a plan. I mean, that you can have this.
Okay. I didn't see that there. Okay. See, I learned something.
But that tells you something that, you've been there and you didn't even notice that. So that might be something that, they're not advertising very good.
Well, true, but I was working. I spent, most of the time at the table. I want to make sure I'm there doing what I need to do. I don't have a lot of time to roam.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying that that's something that, I think that needs to be. Oh, I see what it is. I'm just going through this. I still don't understand this, where it says a special needs shelter plan should include a location away from home. And so, I guess I guess what this right here does, and I didn't get it until just now. I think what you do is use this to go through and develop a plan. Is that what you guys get out of that?
Possibly.
So let's look what this one is real fast since we're talking about this. Now here's something else. So, I don't know when this is, what date this is, but okay. Now this right here is something else that we talked about at that lunch. Do you see who, produced this pamphlet right here?
Yeah. Florida Health.
Yeah, the Florida Department of Health. So
right.
in this state, who is responsible for emergency management? It's not. It's the Department of Emergency Management. And so you see here, to me, this right here is an issue. Is that it seems like every little agency has a bit and piece of emergency management, but there's really no collaboration.
I like our government.
Well, it is, our government. Where again, I've never, actually gone through this like this, but I'm glad I did. Like, here's another FloridaReady.gov. Have y'all heard of this website?
No.
And then look here. This actually does list emergency management. And so I think that, I think we kind of proved our point here a little bit. you know, that will enrich what we were talking about. I'm just going to go down, since you said it, I'm just going to look for Pensacola. Look here. I searched for Pensacola. Nothing came up. So that is definitely a good idea. And I said I had two, and now I can't remember what the second one is. So it was that good, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
No,
I just can't believe I can't believe I didn't realize that family cafe. But
Yep.
I learned something, so that's good.
Well, and it also tells you, I mean, that's something else that, you know, as much stuff that goes on, and now, to me, this right here is a little bit better website, but as much stuff that goes on at Cafe, you know, that might be something that needs to be focused on a little bit more, in that, you know, when Lori's up there, you know, talking about stuff, you know, she probably, you know, needs to say, okay, everybody needs to stop by this table and see these people, you know, to make sure that you get a plan for the, you know, hurricane season coming up.
Yeah.
And I'm not criticizing Cafe at all, but, you know, there might be certain things that, you know, that you just want to over and over and over. And that's something that, you know, definitely that we can do, is encourage everybody to, you know, make sure they get a plan, or they go see those people. Since I can't remember the other thing I was going to talk about, I'm going to go on to our online trainings. We started doing some online trainings to achieve some of our deliverables. And what we do at the center, we actually are responsible, I mean, not the center, at the statewide headquarters, we're responsible for we're responsible for transition, IT, and what's the funding. And so we've developed some online trainings, and actually Jennifer and Jan, you've already participated in them. And so what we've done now is we actually have a new platform. And so it's called Go To Training. And one of the things that they let us do, that allows us to do, is this catalog of upcoming webinars, in which, you know, we can schedule a series of webinars. And this right here is actually that series about advocating for assistive technology. And then you can actually see here all of those trainings. In fact, I'm actually going back and redoing some of those trainings. And the reason why is because this platform allows us to record people that call in on the phone, people that are on the internet, and it's all in one. And so I want to make sure that we get one good training, one good recording for these, and then where we could put in our on our YouTube channel. And so I wanted to show you guys this, because again, this is something that this is something that's built into it, and that we can actually that we can advertise. I can tell you one of the things that I don't like about it, and Matt, I did try to change it, and I thought I did, but the register buttons, I did try to put them in our blue. I put the code in, but I believe it just didn't take, or I didn't put the right code in, or, you know, it's one of those deals. And so, or again, DMS may not allow us that capability. And so I do, you know, again, I wanted to show this. Now, you can see here is, you know, some of those trainings I offer 11 o'clock and a 7 o'clock one. And so to access those, you can actually just look here and you can see those two. And so I wanted to show you guys this, and then you know, this right here is something that's built in. And the other two things I want to add about this is we're also, like, for the handouts that we do, we also can put those in here when we schedule it. and those handouts will actually be sent out to you if you register. The other really cool thing about these is after the training, it sends you a survey to do about the training. Was the information useful? Was the information provided? Can you use that information immediately? And so, in terms of some of those things, well, I'm just having all kinds of reminders come up. Those are the types of things that, that this system does. I can tell you now that this right here is a complete system for live trainings. And so with that, I'm going to shut up and then, see what you guys think about this. Anything? Well, and as you can see here, we actually have this advocating for assistive technology. Do you guys have any thoughts or ideas about maybe another, topic of trainings that we can actually do 2 or 3 trainings under that topic, but it'd be a little bit different? Anybody have any suggestions on it?
Mm-hmm. I can't at the moment come up with anything myself.
Well, I can tell you is that we're going to, these are going to, now my cat's jumping on me. We're going to keep these focused. We need to keep these focused on funding, transition, and IT. And so those will be the ones that we do. But, again, going back to, we did do, funding, and we are actually doing funding for, you see Medicare speech generating devices. And then we also are doing Medicaid speech generating devices. But these are things that we could, of course, we're going to need to follow up on them. But if there's anything if there's anything that you guys can think of, by all means, let us know. Since we partnered with Florida Sand, that's why we're calling this, these trainings advocating for assistive technology. It could be, and I'm just going to throw this out there, we could partner with FILC, the Independent Living Council, and we could say something like, have a track, assistive technology for independent living. And so, just to show you guys some examples of how we can do these.
I do have a question.
Shoot.
It's something I'm curious about. The assistive technology, what is the age range that FAAST is helping? Is it mainly adults, or are there a lot of first-time users?
Well, that's very
a young age.
It's very interesting that you're asking that question right now, because I'm actually, if it's okay with everybody, I'm going to skip the next thing because I am running a little bit long, and I'm actually going to to show you guys what I actually provided on this is some data, some statistics on the people that we actually do, the people that that we do serve. And so I'm going to download both of these. And I forgot I did them in a portfolio. Addison, what are you doing? Yeah, I know. Y'all hear that dog?
Hi, hi, puppy.
She's a hound dog.
How are you, puppy?
And she got a good one there, doesn't she?
Michael, he has a lot to say in this matter. Maybe we should listen to him some.
What now? Well,
Addison's
right
going to
here.
lead this meeting from here on out.
Huh?
I said Addison might want to lead the meeting from here on out.
I'm telling you. So, Jan, you actually was asking these questions here. And so this right here is for device demos. Yeah, thanks. So this right here is the age. And this right here goes only to the first quarter of last year.
Okay.
And so you can actually see this right here is the age breakdown of who we provided device demos to, you could see that 84 people during that first quarter of last year was in the age range of 18 to 34. 78 was in that, the range from 35 to 64. In terms of school age kids, you're looking at 46, over 65, 41, and then under 5 is 29. And so, this right here is the first time that, I actually did, this first time I actually, downloaded these, this data set from NatTads and where we could look at it.
Mm-hmm.
You can go on here. Right here's the categories that we actually have provided demos on, and with this right here doesn't surprise me at all. So a majority of our, and I haven't put the percentages here, but I can. A majority, or 112 of our device demonstrations during that quarter was for speech generating devices. And of course, you can see down here where, things that we don't really focus on in our RDCs, recreation, sports is 4, and then vehicle mods is 1. Moving right along here, you can actually see the disability type. And then these right here are from, these right here are actually from the census. And so we're actually going to look at these to break them down a little bit more. You see multiple ones on here. That is people that actually listed a couple of different disability types. And so you can see here again that people will come to us, to really, to ensure that they are living independently in the community. Another thing that I think this is really, really, to me, this right here is one of the most important data sets that I can see. Services provided in the RDC, 234. Services provided in the community, 43. Y'all see something that's a little bit strange in that? And then when you look at the previous one, people are coming to us. The disability type is they want, independent living. But then where does our services take place?
RDC.
Yeah, so, huh? So to me, again, if we're trying to promote independent living in the community, I understand, RDC, you can provide some services there, but, the best place to, to test out assistive technology is where you're going to use it. And so that was one of the things that I wanted to look at. Other thing that I think is important is, are people coming to our RDCs to come to our RDCs for FAAST services, or are they receiving FAAST services at an RDC as a secondary thing? They're going to these centers for the main, like they're going to, in Pensacola, they're going to the CIL for CIL services. Oh, but while they're there, oh yes, we also have assistive technology. And so this right here is basically what we're looking at with this. And so 168 out of 275 was, they came to our centers for device demonstration just for that service. And it wasn't a byproduct of being in the center for the, the services that the other, that the parent organization does. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And the next thing I want to show you just real briefly is this right here is device demos, the age breakdown. Look at the age breakdown for device loans. it's really, really, in terms of the breakdown, it's really, really similar, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
They think
and
that
then-
their 3-year-olds are borrowing more.
but then the last thing I was wanting to show you, and I actually may have gotten, I may be late on another call. Oh, I am, but not that late. Is the location of our services. Looky here. Well, 349 device loans took place in the center as opposed to the community, which you would imagine, yes, because people need to come into the center for device loans. But then the other one that here is that we almost we're almost at 50-50 for our services being a byproduct of the other. I just lost my train of thought again. Of the other, of our parent organization. And so that's something that, again, it's good that, people can go to our RDCs and receive our services, but, is that, we need to make a value statement. Is that a good thing? That we're, some of our services are seen as a byproduct of the parent organization, while other parts of other services that we provide, people are coming to our RDCs just for that services. They're coming to an RDC for a FAAST service and not for a service of the parent organization. And if that's the case, then, is that good, bad, or indifferent? And do we want to increase, people coming to, or do we want to increase people coming to these centers just for us? And so, again, this right here is our first sample of data in which we're looking at. As we go on through this process of being, you guys functioning as an advisory council, this is something that we're going to continue doing. And so, Jan, does that answer your question on that?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Yeah, well, and I'm glad that you asked that because they actually went right along with that. And so, and now you can, but that's only 2 services. And so as we go through this, every month that we do this, we'll add to this and then we'll include some other statistics.
Okay.
Well, guys, I've kept you all long enough, and I definitely appreciate, the people that called in. I can tell you that Carla, we do have a follow-up call with Carla on the 14th. So I need to jump off here and get on another one. So everybody have a good day, okay?
Take care, Michael.
All right.
Take care.